as you look at Koyunbaba, the second movement, you're going to be presented with different techniques. But the most important part is to actually keep a balance. It's going to be a natural tendency for you getting into ninth position, and right, you want to naturally use ring, middle, index, but it's not the fastest combination. I would try to involve my thumb as soon as possible. I prefer using ring, index, and thumb. Right? Right, so you have index on the first string, ring finger on the second string. You're going to basically switch that, index moving up to the second string, and eventually ring to the first string. So you have actually a swap around of sorts, right? You have this, and then you have that, right? But he actually makes it in a very, very tasteful way, right? Then he does the same business over in seventh position. Then he repeats. Now, let me just emphasize the fact that I prefer using ring, index, thumb. I feel it's more balanced for the right hand. A lot of people prefer middle, index, thumb, which is just as fine, right? I just prefer. But again, let's just take it slow for now. Then you actually have this descending line. Fifth position, it's just the same right hand configuration, right? Ring for the first string or middle for the first string, index for the second, thumb for the third, right? Then move to fourth position with 1 and 2, 1 on the first string again, always. And then second position, 1 and 2. Then take off the second finger, 1 moves upstairs where normally you would find a C sharp. Then the index finger moves over from second position to third position. Right? So your index finger is where you normally would find a D, this time it's an F natural. And then your ring finger is going to actually be grabbing here on the 5th fret where normally you grab a C, right? Right? Then you move to 1 and 2 on second position. Again, 1 on the second string, 2 on the third. You're still plucking the first 3 strings. And then after 1 on the third string, where normally you would find a G sharp, open string. So again, that descending line from 5th position, 1 and 3, 1 and 2 4th position, 1 and 2 second position, 1 moves upstairs to the second string, only 1 finger. My apologies, my battery died just earlier. We were in that me playing through the descending figure of Koyunbaba second movement. Move to third position with 1 on the second string, add third finger on the 5th fret third string, then move to second position, this time 1 and 2 on the third string, then first position, 1 on the third string, and then open string. And then you're going to have this kind of a mordente business. Right, so you play, I would suggest preparing 1 and 3 both on the third string, 1 on the first fret, 3 on the third fret. Right, 3, 1 hammer and pull, and then open. And then do the same thing on the third position. He has to do that 3 times. And then you do it on 5th position. I think I'm doing something wrong. Actually, I'm right. 5th position, then 7th position with 1 and 2. Then 8th position with 1 and 3, then 10th position, then 12th position with 1 and 2, and then 13th position with 1 and 3, then 15th position with 1 and 3 again, and then on the 19th fret of the guitar, you do harmonics. Thumb on the third string, and index and middle or index and ring. This time index and middle might be better for just a chuck, right? will stop. Well, it's not really stop because it's harmonics. So it looks like this. First position. Fifth. Okay, this time I actually went ahead and used my middle finger before doing the chuck. I suggest being ready with the thumb, right? So thumb, index, and middle for that is just the best combination. Then you actually have something that is going to come back later in the piece. You're in 7th position, right? So you're going to do that 8 times. 1 hammer to 2, hammer to 4, right? You're normally where an A would be here. And by the way, you have a fermata there, so you can take your time in getting there. So 4th string harmonic on the 7th fret, 3rd string harmonic on the 7th fret, and you play your 2nd string. And you want to be counting that note here, right? Which normally would be an A, right? So 8 times before you change that to normally what would be a G on the 7th fret. So you're moving from the 10th fret to the 8th fret, sorry. This time only 4 times. And then you actually are going to change things. It's almost like a dance of the index finger. Again, if you just tune the guitar to this piece, it's going to go off. So you have to actually work with your tuning. Again, for tuning purists out there, my apologies. It's just the piece requires retuning the guitar. So you're actually going to do this on the F sharp, well, for what would be an F sharp on the 7th fret. 3 times. Then on the 5th position, 2 times. And then you move to 1 time on the 10th fret, and then back to the 7th fret. Then 2 times to the 5th fret, then back to the 3rd fret, 2 times, and then 2 times on the 2nd fret, back to the 3rd fret 2 times, and 3 times open. Now let's talk about the right hand. You're actually playing the 4th string with your thumb. Index finger plays the 2nd string. Thumb plays the 3rd string. And ring or middle plays the 1st string. Right, so if we actually go back 8 times. You have fermata, so take your time in setting it up. So 3 times on 7th position, 2 times on 5th, 1 time on 10th, 1 time on 7th, 2 times on 5th, 2 times on 3rd, 2 times on 2nd, 2 times on 3rd, 3 times on open. And then you do the same business again. 8 times. Let's just pretend that was 8. I was not really counting. And then you have a D that you play before you start your pattern. So it's going to be 2 consecutive plucks with your thumb. 4th string open, the 3rd string open. Right? So pretend that this D is just really an introduction. You start with the G. And what happens is, as you actually start that next measure, you're going to do just a straight pattern of ring, middle, index, thumb. 1st string, middle finger on the 2nd, index on the 3rd, and then thumb on the 4th. Just the Pima position, right? P-I-M-A. In reverse, right? A-M-I-P, right? Amip. 3 times there. Then straight away after 5th position there. And just a note as to why we're going from 4 to 1 there. That's in the 7th fret, and this is 1 on the 5th fret. It's just because that's where we ended up from the item below, before, right? of A, M, I, P. 3 times, right away to the 10th, then 3 times on 7th. You're going to almost start the very, very first pattern that you have. But instead of going back to 7th position, you're going to move up. So you move from 9th position to 12th position. And then you jump to 7th position. And then you're going to jump all the way to 14th position. So this would normally be an F sharp. Again, we're retuned. Right? So 1, 2, 1 moves up. 3 is right there on the 16th fret, sorry. Right? And then you're going to jump back to the simbolo. You're going to look for the area where you find that finding symbol. And that's going to bring us right back to 5th position where we had that descending finger. And then he has you repeat that like before. Then the same business.